Of course. All right, here we go. Welcome to the last monthly meet for the ECOpenChat Cohort 2. We are so glad that everybody's here. Whoever's watching in the replay, wonderful to see you as well. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Georgina Dean and Jared Johnson, who is going to be talking all about bringing out the incredible. And so I'll pass it on over to them.
All right, well, welcome everybody. It's good to see everybody's smiling faces. I'm Jared, and we are here to talk about bringing out the incredible. So this is our session 6, can't talk, all about celebrating and advancing success, which is one of my favorite topics, and Georgina's, to talk about, because as a coach, I feel like we are always trying to find the incredible in the teachers and the people that we help every single day in a school. So, and it's really cool when you can find that incredible in that teacher and make them shine like the superheroes they really, really are. All right, so here we are looking as super as possible. There's Georgina. There's her Twitter handle, TechieLeaderEDU. And again, I'm Jared Johnson, and my Twitter handle is edtech_ology. And who's ready to get started? Georgina, are you ready? I know she's busy trying to get everything set up on her end.
Oh, I am so excited. I want to know how incredible everybody's feeling. So drop me a number on a scale of 1 to 10 in the chat, but we're going to do Shannon's waterfall chat. So don't drop it until we say kapow, which is our incredible word for today's session, okay? So 1, I'm really sleepy. I'm going to need some more coffee. 10, I am pumped up like the Incredibles. Okay, ready? On your mark, get set, kapow, boom. Look at all those numbers coming in, Jared.
Ooh, everybody's eating their superhero Wheaties today.
I love that. Okay, guys, so we're going to get started. We want to start first with a breakout session. So we actually may not need all 4 of the breakout sessions. We may start with, what do you guys think, 2 or 3? Maybe do 3. Anyway, or you can just pick from any on the screen. So basically, these are our superpowers. And so basically, whichever superpower resonates with you. So think about the different powers you have as an instructional coach, as an educator, as a leader in your education community. Think about which one of those really resonates with you. And when we say go, not just yet, we want to be able to talk about in your breakout rooms how we are breaking down barriers. So before we can get to the celebration part, we need to think about what kinds of things are we working on overcoming? Why are superpowers important? Why do we have to pull out the incredible? We need to find our incredible superpowers because there are challenges. Let's be real, right? This is reality. This is how things are, especially in digital transformation. And we need a set of superpowers. So we've just picked 4 to help us with our breakout rooms today, but obviously there are way more superpowers than that. So when you get into your breakout room, please just have a discussion for a few minutes. We'll give you guys maybe 3-4 minutes just to chat about different barriers that require you to grow into different superpower skills, okay? So whichever one resonates with you, I am opening the breakout rooms now, and then you guys will be able to enter. Okay, go ahead.
Would you like me to share the slide deck with them?
Oh, you know what, Shannon? That would be fantastic. Why doesn't Georgina go with Techie Guru superpower that she's going to need to build after this session today? Thank you, Shannon. That's fantastic.
No worry. So happy to help. And I just popped that in the chat, guys. It's going to be on slide 4. Slide 4.
You know what, though? At least I had the breakout rooms ready this time. Do you remember last time I rolled up in here and I was like, let's do breakouts?
Yes, but the beauty of this is we're a family. So we're all very, very gracious, aren't we?
We are a
I think I did that last time.
Family.
I love it.
We need to come up with a cool name. We're not the Avengers, but maybe the, I don't know, Coachavers. I don't know.
So guys, the breakouts are on slide number 4. And then I am in. Perfect. I see Becky joining our room now. That's fantastic. So go ahead and pop in there, guys. Perfect. Alex is joining a session. Awesome. Just hang in there, Becky and Alex. Others will join soon. Great. Natasha's joining a session. Melissa's in. Awesome. Okay, so we've got one person in every room now, guys. If you can go ahead and everybody else join one of those rooms, that would be super awesome. It's, by the way, the name of the room is not the topic that you're going to be talking about. These are just examples of superpowers that may resonate with you. All right, Roxy's in.
I am on a mobile and I don't know how to join the breakout room.
Great, good question. Do you know if you're on an Android or an Apple device?
Android.
Android. Okay, so I'm hoping Shannon can give us a hand with that. Then, do they need to have the mobile app downloaded on Android just like iOS? Yeah. Okay. So, Sijo, did you happen to have the mobile app downloaded or not yet?
I have Meet installed and I'm using Google Meet app.
That's awesome. So you should just be able to.
Sijo?
No, I am not on mobile. It's on my system. Even I did not get breakup room invitation.
Are you on slide number 4, Sijo?
Okay. Okay. No, let me go to slide number 4. Right. Yeah, I am at slide number 4.
Great. So you can just click on one of those kapow bubbles
Okay.
to join.
Okay. So I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry at all. Hey,
Yeah.
in case you hadn't noticed, I forgot to give you guys the deck. So we're all in this together, my friend.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
Okay.
Apsalji,
So Becky, can you hear me? Perfect. I'm going to put you in, I'm going to ask you to join Alex's breakout room because I don't want you to be all on your own. Okay. Alex, which breakout room did you join?
I'm in the blue one, Crucial Conversations.
Awesome. Do you want to join that one, Becky?
Sure thing.
Cool. Great. So we have put a pause on.
Okay, I think.
You are muted, Sijo.
All right. Hi, Alex. I was all alone.
I'm hearing an echo. Are you muted in the...
No. Are you in a room too, Shannon? Or are you just here? You're just here? Okay, cool. So we can, oh, Afsal, did you make it into a room or no?
Yeah. I am joining. another room.
Another room. Okay. I don't want to leave anyone out. All right, Shannon. So I guess we can converse here. So barriers that would require a superpower. So at the end of the year, what is a superpower you think that you will need to skill up or, bring out coming into the year ahead?
I think, since my year is over and done, I think next year, bringing that kind of in, it's going to be I don't know. I think I'm really going to have to really embrace the idea of empowering. I feel like a lot of educators have felt like they were, a portion of them was stolen from them this last year. And so a lot of individuals are feeling like very dejected. And I know that the summer will support that, right? They'll have a time to breathe and things. But I think once they get back, it's really empowering them to remember like the risks that they took, and the awesomeness that they did, this last year, and hopefully translate that into this next year while coming alongside and like supporting.
You love that.
What about you?
I think for myself, because I'll be on an epic new journey, I think for myself, it's going to be really the relationships piece, even trying to, when we think about like vertical alignment across the school and just thinking how the virtual platform that we've had this year because of COVID has really allowed us to learn more about the other parts of the school that maybe we didn't know before and how it's supporting our growth in teaching and learning as well as admin, leadership, like the whole 9 yards. And I think about some people who normally would never run into each other, considering the landscape of my school is like 5 buildings up at the mountain. So some people don't see each other very often, right? And so I think it's really reimagining how we can continue that sort of alignment vertically across. So I'm not really sure what superpower I'd call that, but it's definitely something I want to try and blend for next year for sure.
Yeah, it sounds to me like it's like seeing the future, right? Like you're right, like seeing what will be. And although you're not going to actually see the future, you're like building a new future for what you would like, individuals to strive to meet or whatever. So
yeah, thank you. I love that. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think relationships are going to be something that's going to be essential just across the board. I think you're right. I think that, you living up on a mountain is very different than most people, but or your colleagues or whatever. But I think that like a lot of individuals have felt isolated, and it hasn't really felt like a collaborative culture or team culture at school sites because so many schools were off site for so long. And so building that back, I think, is going to be number one. And I think if we can encourage that in our staff and our colleagues, how important building that like family like culture or that like warm and open environment for collaboration and growth together, I feel like then that'll trickle down to our students.
Yeah, I agree.
I hope that they not only feel like they're part of something, the colleagues, the staff, but they realize that like that's really important for students as well, especially to start off.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I think that a lot of, and not just students, I think a lot of adults too, like we've started having those conversations at my school, are worried about how to interact with people again. Like I know that some of you have started that, right? And I know that like some schools in Europe, for example, haven't actually stopped being in person. And then there are some schools like mine in Jordan who basically spent 95% of the school year online. And so there is that big thing. How do I interact, and how do I interact if I have to social distance, and what about masks, and what about plastic barriers? And I think every area of the world is going to be in a different landscape, literally, as far as those protocols are concerned.
Right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's going to be a fun dance, I think, to re-navigate what connections and engagement looks like in that regard. And I think it's exciting. Anytime we have an opportunity to change and rethink and retool, it excites me. So.
Me too. Okay, let's bring everybody back in. I see Natasha's back, so I'm just going to give everybody a 30-second. Let's join the main room.
Hi, party people. It's so nice to see your lovely faces.
Always wonderful to see you. I love the energy.
Right?
I need some of that
Georgina's
energy.
hot, though. I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
She is
Always.
always bringing her incredible. I know it looks
Natasha-
like I'm looking on the other room, but I've got a big screen, so.
Natasha, I heard that you, I think that you joined Georgina's live sketch while people are coming back. You're muted.
Oh my goodness. That was the coolest thing that I have ever seen. Oh, I was like, and I think I was blowing up the comments. I think I was like a hard party foul with the comments. But oh my God, that was so cool. And I was like, look, I love that. And I can't draw a lick, but watching other, like I don't get Twitch. I don't get people playing video games, but watching people draw, oh goodness. I was like, man, that is so cool.
Yeah, I love her sketch show. It's awesome. I must have like missed you, not by much then.
Oh yeah, because you were there at the beginning. That's right. Yeah. But Shannon, your time zone compared to Natasha's like at mine. She's only an hour ahead of me. So
Right. This was like 2 in the morning. I'm in California. I was up late that night though, so I popped in.
Wow. Yeah. I love it though. I cannot wait till and she's doing a summer series too. I can't wait. That was so cool. Oh, it was so cool. And I'm in there talking like everybody's my friend. I was like, I'm definitely think I'm not doing this comment thing right, but it was fun.
You were doing it perfectly.
Brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Some people go in there and they just enjoy watching. They get like inspired. It's kind of like background music. Like some people listen to classical music when they work, or jazz music, or whatever. And so sometimes they throw Behance on. It's like a creative piece, and then others like to join in and follow along. So yeah, welcome back, guys. We were just chatting. There's another breakout room. I did give them a chat prompt, but I think they're into it. So they're, oh, I saw a wave. I think they're coming back now. Yeah, they're coming back.
Well, while we wait, is everybody done with school? Or are you guys still working? You can unmute and share, or share in the chat, either way.
Not yet. We just had exams, and like it's the ministry, we got switched to some new company. So the girls just had exams, and usually after exams, the kids excuse themselves. But now there's like a summer school initiative for the next 2 weeks. So we shall see.
Right on. Right on.
We've been out since May 28th, so it's nice.
I've got 2 more weeks if that makes anybody feel better. Jared's sitting at the lake sharing with us today, and I'm like, well, I've got work in about 12 hours.
Well, our last day was Tuesday. It was this past Tuesday, so it is a late into the school year. All right.
So how was that? Did you guys talk about some incredible superpowers you're bringing in? Did anybody want to share one that they're looking to build or grow or develop or explode? Feel free to unmute if you would like to share.
Natasha has one.
Go ahead.
So inspired by the wonderful Georgina, I think the superpower that I'm going to bring in is vulnerability. I think that, I mean, yeah, it really helps invest people in just in you and just in what you're doing, and just like being vulnerable and sharing how you're still learning is awesome. And it feels really, I think it felt really good, like just watching Georgina share and be vulnerable. I think it felt really good to not have to be the person in the room that knows all of the answers, and to crowdsource. Like it takes such a relief, because yes, of course you're supposed to be coaching, but definitely also being vulnerable about like, oh, you know, I'm not quite sure about that, or I am sure about that, or, you know, also sharing things that if you're still in the classroom that are going on. So I think vulnerability is definitely a super power.
I'm really glad you shared that, actually. I hadn't thought about my vulnerability as an instructional coach before. Obviously, you've seen me do it in action in many other educational spaces, but as a coach, I hadn't thought about that. So thank you for inspiring me, Natasha. Jared, did you want to maybe jump to the next slide?
We can, if everybody else
Cool.
is ready. All right, so another very important topic when you're trying to become a coach, and that's in the curriculum, is getting your school leaders to support you. And how can they support you? And so it's a lot of kind of a little bit of give and take here, depending on your admin. I will tell you just from my story, we were part of the Dynamic Learning Project when it was first concepted. And so I was lucky enough to have a principal who was already on board with coaching. And so it was very easy to have that relationship, to have that support, but that's not always the case depending on your school, your district, your organization, however you are organized. But it is very important to have a team behind you, and that team has got to include your building admin and district admin, again, depending on your role. The curriculum talks about the meet cycle, the cadence, as they call it, on meeting with your admin leader. They recommend doing it every other week, and that can be a challenge. That can be possible, but that can also be a challenge. So the most important thing really is to get on their calendar. So have those conversations, at the start of a school year, to get on the calendar as best that you can with your admin team, either your building principal or whoever is going to be your most supportive person within coaching, and to get on their calendar and try to stick to it. So things will come up, and if you have to cancel a meeting, or if they have to cancel a meeting, have those conversations to say, oh, let's try to reschedule this. And then the other thing too is making sure that you are working together to align to the school goals. So a lot of schools have yearly goals, maybe goals for multiple years, but it's very important as a coach that you try to work with your administrator on aligning yourself to those school goals. So for me, just to be honest, my principal, who is pictured in the back there in the red shirt, is retiring. So I'm going to have a brand new, completely new admin team to my school next year. So I'm going to be rebuilding these relationships myself, making sure I'm on a calendar and making sure that we are working together to align to whatever the new school goals might be. And that's actually coming up the next couple of weeks. So again, it's very important to do that. The other thing I like to do personally is invite them to the classroom. So administrators have an ego, and they want to look good. They want their building to look good. And teachers want to be noticed by their administrators. So it's very important for me to invite them to the classroom. So to invite them in to see what great things are happening in a classroom. Now, obviously, they may be going around doing observations. So they may hopefully see a lot of that. But if you're working directly with a teacher, and let's just say you're doing a design thinking activity, and maybe that teacher's not on their schedule that week to be observed, get them in there, show them the great things that are happening, that also show that what you're doing to impact that teacher and how that is impacting the students is going to be priceless, really. And then again, share all the time. So share on social media. If you have your own social media, make sure that you tag the school, tag your admin in it, tag your school district, whoever you need to do to make everybody look good, because it makes you look good, it makes the teacher look great, it makes the school look great, and it makes your admin very happy, because all of this will hopefully shine bright on them. And again, have conversations with your principal in the hallway. I always like to have an open dialogue. In fact, I feel like with my administrator who's leaving, I felt like we had a really good relationship where we could be honest with each other, and we had conversations, both tough and easy, at any given time. And then the one thing I'll talk about with celebrations too is badges on classroom doors. This is a great way for the principal to visually see what is happening in that classroom. It's a great way for the teacher to visually represent what they're doing in the classroom. So badges is a great way to kind of showcase what coaching is doing to impact those students and those teachers.
Yeah, I'd love to drop or add on to that as well. I like to say drop because I was thinking kapow, but then, you know, I just, yeah.
Or
Okay.
bam.
Yeah, that's it. There's Georgina trying to be funny again. Okay, so another thing to do is to get buy-in to celebrate, right? Today's session is all about celebrating. And so one thing that I was, that I'm grateful for was to get buy-in to celebrate on an even bigger level. So on top of all of this, my administrators agreed that we would invest in 5 Google Pixel books and that everybody who became an L1 and L2 certified educator this year would be put into a draw, and 5 staff members at the end of the school year will win a Pixel book, not owned by the school, like completely theirs, etc. So I'm not, obviously, like, budget's dependent. I'm not saying everybody has to go out there, and obviously that's not necessarily something we'll offer every year, but we were in a position where we were able to, and I think that that is wonderful. So staff get educated, they get their certifications to build their skills, they get to use it on their CVs and their resumes, and then at the end of the day, the school will possibly say thank you with a nice Pixel book. So yeah, that's one thing you could do. And if you guys have any others you'd like to add on that you've seen that your administrators celebrate also for your schools, please feel free to drop those in the chat. We'll move along to the next slide.
Well,
just to keep the time
Melissa
going.
raised her hand.
Oh, did she? I didn't see that.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead, Melissa.
Hi, I just wanted to kind of clarify, or I had a question. So you mentioned about working together with the site administrator, getting on their calendar, and I somehow missed when you said how frequently maybe you should be meeting with site admins.
So the curriculum, the certified coaching curriculum says at least every other week, so bi-monthly. Yeah.
Okay, so in my district, there's 3 of us for 26 or 28 schools. So I'm imagining about 8 schools in that situation. Same thing. Should I still try to look at maybe twice a month? Is that a good recommendation?
I would if that can fit your schedule and fits their schedule. If not, try to find something that works for you and your site admins. But trying to keep them in a conversation as much as possible, I think, is going to be a huge value to you and to them.
And Alex
Sorry,
had a
Melissa,
really good.
I didn't see your hand. Yeah, go
No
ahead,
worries.
Alex.
Alex said that she has 7 buildings, so she personally meets with admin monthly. So
Yep.
good insight.
Great. Alex, I have a question for you. Do you meet with all of the admins at the same time, or do you meet with an admin from one building once a month, like each one respectively once a month?
Each one has their own separate meeting. So I usually have a different admin meeting or 2 each week. So that keeps me really connected. So it's not just all on the same day. It's nice and spread out, which has worked really well for me so far.
Yeah, and it really gives you that like overview, that Periscope overview. Periscope, did I say that right? I'm thinking, guys, at this hour that my vocabulary is not functioning properly, but it gives you that nice overview, right, of like how things are rolling for alignment across your school building. So I think that's great, Alex. Thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anybody else before I move on? If I can't see the hand pops, I think the sounds aren't working either because I have all those Google Meets open. Cool. Okay, thanks. And just interrupt me, Jared, if I miss anything again, okay? All right, so this next one, guys, is for a Padlet. So you'll be able to click on the Padlet link on board 6, and I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and play some background music. You guys will have 5 minutes, and what we want to do here is we want to look into how are we celebrating across the school. But the questions are very interesting. It's not just like, how are we celebrating, like I mentioned, pixel books or badges, but also like how often and what modalities are you celebrating people, and are your administrators celebrating you as well? So take a few minutes if you can. You'll be able to click the plus button underneath each column on the Padlet. I'll play some music, and if you guys can just let me know if you can get in, perfect. I have a drop already. Awesome. All right, here we go. And feel free to respond to each other too, guys. You can hit the like button. I pretty much left it open. Shannon dropping the GIF like a super incredible. Yeah. All right, 2 more minutes. One minute. Oh, cliffhanger pause in the music. That means time. That was like my there is no kapow. No, I'm just joking. Okay, thanks for participating in the Padlet, guys. Feel free to continue if you like. I'll leave that open for a while. Really great to see Afsal and others also commenting and celebrating other people's posts. So feel free to go in there. Some really great things, L1, 2, and L1 certifications, newsletters, Roxy and Becky talking about the importance of celebrating failures as well, because that's where the growth and the learning happens. So really, really amazing there. Interesting to see permission first, or not sometimes, but most are saying permission first for celebrating. So keeping in mind to respect everybody's views and what they would like to have shared. So, and I think Becky talked a little bit about that in another cohort as well, Becky Lim. So yeah, it was great. I don't know if you wanted to add to that, Jared, but it's on to you.
All right, had to find my unmute button there. I was just going to share some ways, and a lot of you guys have put that in the Padlet. I do celebrations personally through school newsletters that I send out through email. My toilet tips, I have it taped to my toilet tips in the bathrooms. Social media that I talked about earlier. Badging, which is very popular at my school. So the teachers really do love the badges. I have badges for teachers that are on a cycle and badges that are for teachers that are not on a cycle. I like to do end of cycle celebrations, and end of cycle celebrations before COVID ended up where, you know, basically I would make food or ice cream or things like that and bring them into my office and we all kind of share together. But this past year has been mostly like, I've got a Cricut machine and I've been making vinyl letters and sticking them on cups and book bags and things to personalize as a way to say thank you for being on a coaching cycle. And then another way too is getting those teachers that have been on a cycle to be innovation advocates or teacher leaders to help spread the word of what they are doing, to share their successes, and to encourage growth of all teachers. And these are just some images here of things I've done. So my badges, which I put outside the wall. I still use the DLP logo just because that's what my teachers are used to, and is what they recognize with me in coaching. So I kind of keep that logo going, and I do that with their badges outside their doors, and I make them using Canva. Newsletters, like I said, this was a picture of pancakes. I made everybody pancakes one morning and we celebrated coaching cycles. My bathroom tips, I share not only like tips and tricks, but also have a QR code to my newsletter so that way they can read and learn about what they're doing. Of course, any teacher that wants to do level 1 and level 2, which is highly encouraged, they get a special door tag as well with their name on it and the level 1, level 2 logo. And then I'll send out the Impactful Technology Warrior Award or infographic just to share out the teachers that are doing some great things. And they usually have a quote that goes along with it to talk about, you know, specifically what they want to talk about and how it had an impact in their classroom.
Lots of comments in the chat, Jared, about newsletters seem to be really popular. Does anybody else make pancakes like Jared? Is that just a Jared thing? I'm curious to know if other people are making food before COVID or not.
We are at my site. We don't necessarily make pancakes for, you know, the coaches don't make pancakes for everybody, but as a collaborative like staff, every single month on payday, we call it payday treats. And every single department used to provide breakfast on that payday treat. And so, you know, it was an opportunity to like come and like serve your peers across sites or across departments.
Cool idea.
Yeah, super cool. If anybody else has any cool things, like let me know. Not at this current school because we've been in COVID most of the time I've been here in Jordan, but like at other schools we had like International Food Day, and so everybody would bring something from their own culture to share and we would eat together for like an afternoon or something. So that's something else too. But I don't know, you made me hungry for pancakes now, Jared. I'm thinking about breakfast already in a few hours.
I make some good pancakes. We got to meet up. We got to meet up at some time.
There we go. Okay, guys. So we have a couple of activities left. We've got about 15 minutes. So I'll just go through this next part. really quickly to get you into something more meaningful for your actual application. So coaching leadership, as we shared before, at least for myself, it's really, really important for me to identify and share with you guys that everybody in your school community is a leader. And every student in your classroom is a leader. That's not just for educators, it's for students, it's for administrators, and it's for middle and senior leaders as well. So if we have that idea, that value in our mind when we approach instructional coaching, what it means is that we just want to keep moving everybody through to the next leadership stage, right? So when they finish in your instructional coaching cycle, what happens with those students? I just see I'm pixelating, so I'm going to close the breakout room so that I don't crash completely. Okay, and reopen them again after. Okay. Hopefully that gets better. Sorry, guys. So we want to think about, where are we helping teachers, educators go after they finish a cycle with you in coaching? So basically, we have like a graduation cycle at my school, where when educators finish, they have the opportunity to join our digital leaders teacher team. And it's basically a team of just that, people who have gone through coaching, some early adopters that also joined the team, and they make up a wider team of teachers that help with professional development, professional learning throughout the school year, provide CPL tutorials to share in our Google Classroom. So it's how are we moving them along? So it's like they finish a cycle and they have this opportunity to graduate into the next level of leadership. There are other people that graduate from the cycle and would like to continue to challenge their skills and their leadership further and move along through into becoming a Google certified trainer and or a Google certified coach. So if you could just go through the next slides a little bit by little bit, Jared. Basically, you want to think about, how are you next moving them along? So these are some examples of Google Jamboards, which show you examples of how I do my instructional coaching, where it's an interactive piece where we post questions and we provide answers, screenshots of the experience together, and it's really like a portfolio for when they finish. You can just go through these a little quicker, Jared. There's 6 of them, I think. And the idea here is that Phil wanted to become a Google certified trainer. So we've been working on that for 2 terms, which is the equivalent of almost 4 cycles. Phil provided some training, so we helped him work through that. He also presented to me in some of his coaching cycles, and I gave him feedback. And you can just see some examples there of ways that we celebrate also. Then he put his application together and finally became a Google certified trainer last week. So congratulations to Phil, really, really proud of his journey. So we have to ask ourselves, coaching is not just about a cycle that we go through and then they can start to use education technology. That's great. And that is absolutely a big win. But what's next? The idea should be that coaching is an infinite loop. It doesn't actually ever stop. I'm being mentored and coached all the time by Shannon, Jared, all of you. I'm learning from all the things you're doing on Twitter. So it's just a constant loop. This is a free template. You may have seen this. I dropped it on Twitter, I think a couple months ago. It's a free Jamboard where you can have this is what we use at my school. All of the staff have access. They drop their L1 and L2 certificates in the little photo booth frame along with their Bitmoji to celebrate when they become certified. But the idea is that you could use it for other things too, right? Like who had tried a new ed tech tool, for example, they could take a screenshot of how it was meaningful for student learning. So you can use this in a variety of ways. Feel free to remix it. It's a free resource for you guys. Okay, next slide, please. Awesome. So the think tank. Jared, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So guys, we wanted to leave a little bit of time at the end of the session to give you guys some chance to reflect on where you're at, because this is the end of our cohort, right? This is the last session that we're providing for this cohort. So a lot of you, hopefully, are really excited and getting ready to apply to become a certified coach. So we wanted to give you a little bit of time in today's session to work with a partner and go through either a coaching artifact that you have ready for your application or questions about your application, or if you're still working through the coaching curriculum and you've just started your journey with us, then maybe you have other types of questions as well. Wherever you are in your journey, we just want to give you about 5 or 6 minutes just to talk through some of those things and get that support one-on-one with each other. So what we're going to do is the lovely Shannon, so grateful for Shannon, is going to drop the first 5 breakout rooms. So if you're on the slide and you can get in by yourselves, then that's awesome. Otherwise, Shannon will drop the first 5 links. And if you can just go in, and once there's 2 people in a room, then just grab the next link kind of thing. And I'm going to go in and open the rooms to let everybody in. Just for, we'll say 5 minutes, guys, and then we'll meet back here at 5:02, okay? Okay, so we've got a pair in room 2, and we've got somebody waiting in room 3. No one's in room 1, so let us know. Becky's in room 4. Cijo, just hold on 1 second. We'll see if somebody else is going to join. Oh, Becky's going to hop in. Okay, thanks, Becky. Is there anybody else that needs a room? I have room 1 that's empty. I think it's just you and me left now, Shannon, right? Or are you in a room? Sorry.
Nope, I'm here. I think it's just you and I. I think everybody else is in a room.
Okay, I'm going to close down room 1. That should help with my CPU a little bit since I'm running quite a few breakouts now. Cool. Okay, so yeah, let's have a chat together then. So actually, this is interesting. You and I both need to put in our applications. We've been helping everybody for the last year, and we never had time to put in our own application. So let's chat about that.
Right. Yeah. And it's crazy, it's for me, and obviously looking at the data, that you have here, we have all of it. I've prepped all of the materials that I need. It's just a matter of making that video. And, that's ultimately what it comes down to. And I hope that, I hope to do it maybe this summer if I find some time. If not, then, at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that a badge or a certificate doesn't dictate your, whether you could be a good coach or not. But eventually maybe I will jump in and get it, because I do think that it helps, kind of support others when they see that you have some ethos, credibility behind you.
And I think it's a great point you mentioned about not needing a badge or a certification. Obviously, everybody can see that we both do regular instructional coaching every week, right, with people. And so just because we don't need that badge to say, yes, we're doing it. But I think you're right. I think that some schools, and I know people will be watching this on demand. I do know that more and more schools, especially for people who are working internationally, who move from school to school, they're looking for skills like that, right? Are you a Google certified educator level 1? Are you an ISTE certified educator? Are you a Google coach, etc.? So I think from that perspective, I think that it's becoming more and more of, we have a respected certification. Did I just lose camera?
You did. It's okay though. I can still hear you.
Cool. Awesome. So I think that's true. I forgot what I was saying now, but
Yeah,
but yeah, no,
and
I
I think that like individuals who maybe are trying to move from the classroom into more of a full-time instructional coaching, it is beneficial. I think this year, this next year, I really am going to focus in. We were kind of talking about it, you know, in the chat here, that idea of, you know, really thinking about like how to promote engagement, like some actual techniques to like promote engagement and really create like a sustainable culture. And I think that's the beauty of like this community, right? Like just because all of us don't have a you know, the certification of Google Coach or whatever, we still have this crazy robust community that, you know, is willing to come together and brainstorm about these things. And so I think that is kind of neat. And I look forward to really talking to, I think, others about and continuing this conversation that we're having today about how to sustain and celebrate and advance success within your guys's, you know, site cultures, because it's just so important, right? And but it does take, like, I think, an active and deliberate process or plan that needs to be in place in order to create that sustainable culture, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So
it's so weird that my green screen is there and not myself. Sorry about that, Shannon.
It's totally fine.
What a strange effect. Did I close out the room, Jared?
Well, we weren't sure if it was time to come back or not. Like, you disappeared, and so we thought, oh, time to come back.
Oh, sorry. I disappeared because, as you can see, you can't see me in the video anymore. So I just thought to close out myself from the other rooms in case that was eating up my CPU and my video wasn't working. So it's a little bit strange. But yeah, did you want to go back in then to finish, or were you almost done? Or it's up to you.
Well, that's up to Melissa and Alex.
I think we could probably draw people back. We have about 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and maybe wrap it up and you know, let people enjoy the rest of their Saturdays.
Cool. Well, if one of you hadn't shared yet, please feel free to share here then while we're waiting for everybody else to come back in.
Yeah, I'd be curious while we're waiting, what did you guys kind of talk about in your rooms? Alex, Melissa, or Jared?
Just where we were at in the coaching curriculum cycle. So celebrations for Alex. She got her certified coach, and I'm still working on mine. But
yeah. Georgina and I are as well, and we were talking about that, and like the idea that, you know, a lot of us have all of the materials. It's a matter of just like finding the time to get it done. You know what I mean? And recording that video. And we also kind of discussed the fact that, like, you know, largely, like, it's great to get the coaching certification. It'll be wonderful to have that under our belt, right? It kind of establishes a little bit of credibility, but it doesn't add necessarily, like, doesn't make you a better coach to have it. It's just kind of one of those things that kind of makes you legit if you're like talking to different people, right? And we were kind of dialoguing about how, like, really the good work is happening in this robust community, right? We're able to build together and dialogue together and have these conversations and grow together. And largely, I think that is the point, right? Like create a community, surround yourself with a community so that when we go out to our, you know, subsequent communities, like, we can then build, you know, that up. I wouldn't be able to do half the things that I do in my world if I did not have, like, the voices of all of you wonderful people. And so it's just kind of awesome.
Amen to that. All right. Well, before we move on, we want to know how you're feeling today. So what we want you to do is grab an emoji on the side and let us know how you're feeling before we let you go to enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
We want to know how incredible you're feeling for the Google Coach. So in case that didn't come through, Jared, who's excited to get back to the lake, let us know. I'm curious to know, Jared, while everybody's, you know, sharing their feelings, is the water temperature like, what's that like in the lake where you're at, for example? Is it cold? Is it warm?
It's actually very warm.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, I've been actually surprised being early June or mid-June that it's as warm as it is.
Hmm.
But that doesn't stop my kids from jumping in it in the middle of February either. So I will get in it now. It's warm enough for me to get in, but they would jump into it even if it was frozen, I think.
Look at all those smiles on the board, Jared. Doesn't that just make you happy?
I am glad everybody's excited about being a Google certified coach because it really is a wonderful curriculum and this is a wonderful community. Maybe
actually,
it's me. Oh, sorry. I was going to say,
no, go ahead.
I feel like we are very active, even more than the official group. This is recorded. This is being recorded, so maybe I shouldn't say that, but I'm just saying that.
I was just going to say I can't say because I'm not in the other group yet, but I did want to ask you, Jared, if that's okay, while people are sharing, what are some of the benefits since you are on the other side, and that we get when we become a Google certified coach? What happens? So now you've shared there is another community. So what does that look like? If you can share, if you're under NDA, then please don't, obviously.
No. What they have done is very similar to what we have done here. So they have, and I forget how often, but they have professional learning, professional development sessions like we're doing right now. And they're done by coaches that have either been part of the DLP or people that, just recently got their certification that are doing some great things. So they have learning opportunities built right in, and they send you those emails and you do it just like we've kind of done it here.
Very cool. Does that make you guys more excited? Maybe that's just too much excitement for one day. Sorry, guys. You know how I roll anyway.
But look, both communities are excellent communities to be a part of. So it's just to have a community. I think that's the biggest thing, to have a community that you can rely on other people, talk about your frustrations that people will understand, talk about ideas, take ideas. Georgina, you mentioned earlier, like some of you post some great stuff on Twitter and Instagram. So much of it I have to screenshot it, remember where I screenshotted it at, so that way I can go back to it later, especially Roxy, because
oh wow, yes,
she's put me to shame. So here I'm making TikToks and putting them on Instagram, and she's putting legit stuff.
I can't do TikTok. I can't do it. I tried. It's so fast. I can't. I don't know if people talk that fast.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jared, you deserve kudos for that, because I do a lot of video content creation, but TikTok's a different ball game, guys. It takes quite the skill. So kudos to you, Jared, if you got that down.
Well, it's not hard to lip sync to songs.
But guys, to piggyback off of what Jared was saying about like Roxy, it is a good opportunity to follow each other on Instagram as well as Twitter. And just, you may not be a fan of one or all of them, but if you can, some people choose to use their social media for different things. And so it is a chance to get some great resources. Like I catch most of Roxy's blogs, for example, off of her Instagram stories, whereas I don't catch them frequently on Twitter, but I do catch them on Instagram. So make sure you're following each other, drop your handles, and yeah. Sijo, I'm not really sure. Could you unmute and help me with that? Was it a question, comment about the breakout rooms? Let me know.
We don't have it in our domain, Sijo. So we don't have that.
Okay, right.
That's why.
So my doubt was this, that, we went outside and we met, there is a link for the breakout room. Actually, in Google Meet, we can create breakout room in Meet itself. And now she said that we don't have that. But why I am asking you this, it is a wonderful workaround for the schools, because many schools asked me, see, we cannot pay, but we want breakout room. So far, I did not have any clue, but today I understood this is possible. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I understand now. Thank you for helping, Shannon. Yeah, it's possible. It's just made manually through the Google Calendar.
So,
yeah.
Yes. I was not aware that this way there is a workaround. Many schools asked me without
bless.
paying, can we use breakout room? I said no. Tomorrow I have to tell them no, it is possible. I learned a big lesson from you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining, Melissa. Yeah, so that's great, Sijo, and we are happy to learn from you as well. And yes, please share that information with everybody, because now Google Workspace have different tiers of education packages that schools can procure and use at their organization. But you're right, you don't have to procure one of the upper tiers. You can absolutely create breakout rooms this way. So yeah, kudos to you. So Jared, did you want to wrap us up for the recording?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, great point, Becky. Sijo, Becky dropped a link for the mute tab, which is also what I was using when I was letting everybody in earlier. So you can use the mute tab and it completely closes the sound for the different rooms if you're in multiple tabs. Great share, Becky. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, again, we have appreciated everybody that has participated live and those that are watching the recording. So we will say thank you for joining us and being part of our superhero community and being a superhero yourself. So don't forget to follow us and, of course, stay involved with ECOpenChat. We are an awesome community of superheroes. Legitimately, this just proved we found found another superpower of creating meets manually, or breakout rooms manually. So again, we appreciate y'all being here, and we hope you have a wonderful Saturday, a wonderful summer, and we look forward to the next cohort starting in the fall.
Yeah, congratulations to all of you guys for finishing up cohort 2. You should be very proud of yourselves. Virtual high five to the person next to you, below you, on top of you, wherever you are on your screen. There you go. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome. Stay creative, guys. Stay safe, and we will see you in creative spaces. Yeah.